Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to the channel. This is Asnointia here. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And for those of you who are new, welcome. So this is a general love reading, and I'll be looking into the feelings and emotions of the person that you are connecting with on a romantic level. What it is that they're feeling and thinking towards you currently. The deck that I'm using is the Goddess Oracle deck by Amy Sophia Marashinsky. So some of you may have been in a relationship in the past. For others of you, this could be a current relationship. And for a small portion of you, this could be a connection that is very intense. You feel a whole lot of energy, but no one's really speaking up. For those of you who are new, my method of reading is just slightly different. I do not channel through any spirit guides. I never have. I have certain reasons for that. I do have the ability of channeling through my higher intuitive self to get the answers that I need. At the end of this reading, I do channel Archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel to provide you with some advice based on what comes up today. Second chance is quite nice. However, it seems difficult to see this happening because of the boundaries card. Very complicated. Wow. It's like this person wants to tell you how they feel, but they don't, and the impression that has been made, Crosswatcher, it's not good. Scorpio, you feel like this person really doesn't care much at this point in time. They're not giving you a lot of affection or even attention, but the truth is they do want to express themselves to you. First card's the strongest. We have here illusion, followed by crisis, selfhood, sensuality, pleasure, death and rebirth, laughter, boundaries, and then we have victim. Under the bottom of the deck, the overall arching theme. I'm going to express to you what it is that your person of interest is feeling towards you currently. My dear Scorpio, I hide from you. I hide behind a false mask, behind a veil. Firstly, because I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed for some of the things that I have said and done in this connection. I know there are certain things I never should have said, certain things that I never should have done. I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to handle that. I don't even know how to approach you anymore. Which is why I pretend that everything's okay. But the truth is it's not. Right now, I am very overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with certain things that have happened, certain things that can happen. Certain things that have happened in the past that are haunting me. I am overwhelmed, and I'm so overwhelmed that I need time to sort things out. I need time to sort out my emotions. There's a lack of comfort that I feel. There is confusion that I feel. This confusion that exists, it's hard for me to move on from it. One day I hope that this confusion will settle and things will make sense. Right now, my mind is a mess. There's mental anguish, frustration, impatience, even boredom, thinking about what is to come. I don't know. And I am unable to make a decision right now. The decision that can be made, that should be made. It should help me come towards you, but it doesn't. Because I'm overwhelmed. I can't think straight. In you, I have found someone who has changed. A long time ago, I knew who you were. You were this mystery, wrapped in an enigma. And I had unwrapped you, unraveled those secrets. I knew you. But that was back then. Before all of this took place. And now I see you as someone who has changed. You are no longer the same. You are different. What I see now is that you are self-sufficient, self-reliant, independent. You don't need me. You don't need anybody. This is how I view you. This flame once burned bright, and now, since it has been extinguished, I do not know how to reignite that flame. I also see you are more defensive because of the hurt and pain that has been caused. You are more guarded. You will not easily trust any other person because of what I've done. I see this, and I know this is the effect I've had on you. Am I proud of it? Absolutely not. It's hard for me not to think about you. Scorpio, you are so sensual. Everything about you is luring. Your charm, your charisma, your personality. It's very attractive. And it's hard for me not to think about you in that way. There has been a lot of pleasure that I have experienced in this connection. Emotional, spiritual, and even physical pleasure. All this pleasure that exists inside of my heart, inside of my mind, I hide behind a false mask, behind a veil. I don't tell you, I don't show you that I feel this much pleasure. And even though my mind is in a crisis, and I am completely overwhelmed with life and this situation, the whole part of me, all of me, wants to put to rest all that happened before, to put it to sleep. And I want to have a rebirth of something brand new. Before, the road was very rocky. There was turbulence. There was no smooth sailing. But as time goes by, I've realized that I want a second chance. I want to restart this connection. And I have planned that moving forward, things will be smooth. There won't be any obstacles. It won't be as rough as it was before. Things will be very easy for the both of us. This is what I hope. This is what I plan. I want to put to death all that happened before and have a rebirth of something new. I do feel that you are my confidant. You are my best friend. You're the person I rely on. You're the person that I trust. I also know that you have this way of making me laugh. You know what makes my heart happy. You know what makes it beat. You know what makes me tick. You know so much about me. And I do feel that you are my best friend. There's no doubt about that. But the worst thing happened, Scorpio. There are now boundaries on this friendship. There are boundaries on this connection. I have put up boundaries, and even to the sensuality that I sense from you, I have put a block on it, a boundary, so that I do not become more involved in it. Why? Firstly, because I'm overwhelmed. And secondly, because I want to hide my feelings from you. I don't want to show you what I'm truly feeling. Because if I did, you would see me for who I really am. My vulnerable side, my vulnerable self. And so it's easy for me just to put up a wall. Keep you at a distance. So you don't really see the real me. Overall, in this connection, I admit there has been overindulgence. I have taken advantage. There are times when it may have seemed as if there was manipulation involved. All of these things, I realize now, have made you a victim. And sometimes, in my own way, I feel that I am the victim. I have been victimized. For now, I understand that things that happened in this connection in the past, things are now coming and going. It's done. I can't really change much. I just want to make things right. I want there to be a difference. All right, Scorpio. This person's really confused. They don't know what to do. Do they want you? Yeah, they do, because they want a second chance. Do they know how to come back into your life? No, they don't, because they feel you have this aura now. To them, it might be true, maybe it's not, but they feel that you have this aura of, I am single and ready to mingle. I don't need you anymore. And that scares them. It intimidates them. That's part of the reason why they're pretending like, you know what, I'm cool. This doesn't bother me. I'm not even thinking about you. But the truth is, they are thinking about you. Because they're so overwhelmed. It's bothering them. If it wasn't bothering them, then they wouldn't be overwhelmed. If it wasn't bothering them, they wouldn't have put a block on it. Because it is bothering them, they have actually deliberately put up these walls. Now, for a small portion of you, this specific reading could also be vice versa. Scorpio, maybe you are feeling this. Maybe you have done this. Maybe you are the one who is not feeling like the victim, but Crosswatcher is the victim. So this might resonate for some of you. It's not going to resonate for all of you. It is a general love reading. But I do see here the main themes for both of you, Crosswatcher and Scorpio. The main theme here is somebody here is very overwhelmed. Somebody here is feeling very hesitant to reach out. Somebody here thinks someone's very sexy. I see that's mutual. Somebody here wants to have a second chance. Somebody here's put up boundaries. And somebody here feels like the victim. That is what sums up what just happened. And this is a process. This is something that you're going to go through. It's going to change as time goes by because of the type of cards you have. Transitionary or transitory, probably saying that incorrectly. I don't even know if I'm using the word right, but that's what I'm seeing. These cards are kind of like the transitory, kind of like they're in this stage, but then afterwards they're going to change to this, and then there's going to change to this. So it does have a process. Right now, that process is almost in the, out of 10 stages, for example, this is at stage 2 or stage 3. That's kind of what this situation is like right now. Yeah, kind of confusing, but I see this person is headed in the right direction. They do want things to occur. They do want to move forward. But there's that sense of hesitation, and that can only go away once they have strength and courage. All right, I have here the Lover's Path Tarot. There you are. First card's the strongest. So here, for those of you who are new, here I look at what it is that happened in the first place, where things were great, but then things started to go downhill. Very sweet, very wonderful connection. And it just kind of stopped working. Something went wrong. What was that? What was on this person's mind at the time in the past? So this I'm seeing and reading in the past. The first set of cards I just read to you, that is the current status. That's a current situation between you and your person of interest. Here, this is for those of you who may have not found any closure. There may have not been closure. You may have felt that in this connection there was betrayal, but somebody may have ghosted you. Somebody may have just started to fade. There's a lack of closure. Somebody took you for granted. So for those of you that are going through that or have gone through that, this information should provide you with a little bit of clarity as to what was really going on in this person's mind behind the scenes back then. 5 of Arrows and the 9 of Staves. All right. The 5 of Arrows, it talks about struggle, distrust, and arguments. Here, at some point in time, there was a lack of trust, and it led to conflict. There was a disingenuous surrender, defeat because of indecisiveness, paranoia, dishonesty. All right, so what was bothering this person? Disingenuous surrender. So even if you had felt, or one of you had felt, that in this connection, things are not working out, but your person of interest thought it was, somebody here would just agree to that just for the sake of agreeing because they didn't want to argue. Hence, there is a disingenuous surrender. Agreeing to a situation when you know it's not what it is. You know it's something different, but you're just agreeing so that you don't argue, so that there's no big discussion about it. You just want to get it over with. That is the problem here. You were on a different train, for example, and they knew they had to take another train, but they decided to hop onto your train and then go along for the ride. This is this person's disingenuous surrender. They surrendered, but they really didn't want to, but they did. Because deep down they knew it's not right for them. You see, the problem with disingenuous surrender is that eventually people need to stop acting. How long? Maybe a week, maybe 2 or 3 months. They may be acting and acting. Eventually, the real colors show up of an individual. Mostly it takes months. Sometimes people are so clever that it can be a few years. And the ones that do a few years, these are the people that really want something in return, more like finances and getting married to somebody super duper rich or something like that, or being a partner with somebody or common law and acting the entire way. And then all of a sudden, boom, they change. So this does happen in real life. People do change. They surrender. They're your friends. You're like, wow, where have you been my whole life? Sometimes it's too good to be true. Yeah, that happens. So here we have someone who felt and who did this. They actually agreed just for the sake of agreeing. And that didn't make things real. And that's what was bothering them on the inside. And that's a them problem. Unfortunately, you were affected because of it. We also have here the words. Defeat because of indecisiveness. Were they able to decide? You see, you still have that particular card, the crisis, where this person's completely overwhelmed, too much going on all at once. They cannot make their mind up. That's the problem. And being overwhelmed causes an issue here, not being able to make the right choice. Why? Maybe I'm not thinking clearly. Maybe I need time for things to settle down. Then I can make a choice. That is what happened here. Your person of interest truly did not make a choice because they could not make a choice. They were very indecisive. Why did they not want to make a choice? Paranoia. They were completely paranoid. So, meanwhile, Scorpio, you knew that, okay, this is love. I love my person of interest. I want to move forward with them. And yet this person, I'm seeing a cage. Like an actual metal square cage. And it looks like a monkey, but I don't know. It's not really a monkey. I am seeing a monkey, but they're kind of going like this to the cage. They're trying to release themselves from the cage. So I guess the cage would indicate the vision that I'm seeing. So your person of interest didn't want to commit. I'm seeing the word commitment in my mind's eye right now. So they didn't want to commit because they would have felt caged. They would have felt that their power, they've lost power. They would have felt that they no longer have freedom. Right? That's what happened here. Well, it's very just fast. Boom, boom. I see those things and it just all makes sense all of a sudden. Dishonesty. They also felt that perhaps you are being dishonest. Now, why would somebody think like that? How could you possibly think that I'm being dishonest? Why would you think that? Well, because this person would have gone through that before. And if they haven't gone through that, maybe their parents went through that. Maybe their aunt and uncle went through that. Maybe they've experienced it through someone else. They know what dishonesty is, and they don't want to go through it. That's also one of the reasons why they're paranoid, because they think that relationships are very deep. Now, this is interesting. It's almost as if your person got into this relationship for the sake of getting into a relationship, and maybe just for intimacy, because you had 2 cards in the entire deck. I have 3 in that deck. Sexuality, sensuality, and pleasure. The first deck that you guys just had. In that deck, out of the 3 top ones, which I consider as benefit cards, meaning any type of sensual or sexual or lustful type of feelings, out of the 3, you had 2, which indicates to me that this person was very much into the physical aspect of this connection. You also had laughter. Laughter is my friends card. So when I see that, I see a friends with a benefits connection. Not everybody here will resonate with this. And if it's not a friends with benefits, could be casual. If it's not that, it could be simply that this person was focusing more on the physical rather than the emotional. Because I did not see anything related to emotion in that one. First set of cards, nope. It was all about them. Wow. Yeah, not good. Your person of interest may not have been as truthful as you had thought. It's like they had a different agenda and your agenda was different. However, you were like an open book and they were not. And that's exactly why they had the illusion. That's exactly why they have the boundaries, because they didn't want to be so open. This is a complicated person. And I would recommend that you be a little careful around this individual. Not because you don't know you. You do know you. They don't know them. That's the issue. They don't know who they are, what they want. And if you think this is only going to happen with you, it's not. Whoever they're going to be with, it's going to happen to them too. Because this person has unresolved issues. Here we have, with the 5 of arrows, that sense of paranoia and dishonesty and a lot of struggle, distrust, and arguments. So overall, they had quite a negative impression of whatever was going on in this connection. And it may have been this connection, or it may have been their idea of what this connection is or could be, or what it could turn into. So I mainly see this person being paranoid and unsure. We also have here the 9 of staves. The Nine of Staffs here, it talks about feeling overwhelmed by work. Okay, so remember the crisis card that talks about feeling overwhelmed. Part of that overwhelmment comes from what? Comes from actual work. Feeling overwhelmed with work. There's time that was needed, or there's a break that was needed, and time needed to be sorted out, put to the side. Let's just take a vacation. Let's just take some time off. This person at some point in time, they were denying responsibilities that they should have been undertaking. They were not. So this talks about how someone was feeling very overwhelmed, how they needed time for a break, but how also they had responsibilities and they were completely denying it. I'm not going to do this. It's too much for me. I'm already overwhelmed with this. I'm denying these responsibilities. Somebody else take care of that. That's kind of what this person was thinking about, but it's not responsibilities regarding other people. This is responsibilities regarding you. They had to be responsible. Were they responsible? Scorpio, I'm seeing no, they were not responsible because they were denying it. Responsibilities. They may have promised you something. They did not keep it. I'm getting the words inconsistent and unreliable. If you hear a whisper, please don't be alarmed. That is myself talking. I'm just whispering it to myself because I see it in my mind's eye first so that I don't forget later. I'm seeing the words inconsistent, irregular. Yeah, this person was, crosswatcher. Why were you even in a relationship? I wanted to give it a try and see how things go. That's what they're saying. I wanted to give it a try and see how things go. Well, we saw how it went. Not good. What you need to do is heal and understand no two people are the same. They may be slightly similar, maybe even really similar, but they are not the same. Not everybody's the same. Everybody's different. People's way of talking, judging, their way of loving, it's all different. All right, I have here the Beginner's Tarot. So I'm going to look into any actions, any plans, any intentions your person of interest may have towards you. Wow. Okay, a lot is going on. You have one of the best cards in the house, Knight of Cups. Really, really nice. All right. We have here the Seven of Cups. This talks about how your person of interest has a lot of choices. There's a lot of temptation near them. But they refuse to make a choice. They daydream a lot. Because of this, they don't really settle down in regards to a connection. Whatever type of decision they want to make. They're not, I'm getting the word, they are indecisive. They're just indecisive. They don't know what to do. What they do know what to do and what they want to do is the Eight of Wands. And with the Eight of Wands, this is a beautiful card to have, actually. It does talk about communication or the intent to communicate. There is this intention that they have, which could turn into an action or plan, that they are going to reach out to you. But this does talk about communication. Mostly it is passionate and it is direct. It could be indirect, but I do see this being more direct simply because you also have here two cards that indicate a lot of direct face-to-face kind of contact. Six of Wands. If you're dealing with somebody, and the same goes here for here, if you're dealing with somebody from the past that had kind of disappeared for a while, they ghosted, and you have been wanting this person to come back into your life, this is the card to have. Six of Wands does talk about somebody coming back into your life from your past. They're coming back victorious. They were gone for a while. There was some absence there. They're coming back into your life, but what do they want to do? Ace of Swords, cut to the heart of the matter. There's a sense of brilliance here. in the mind, logic, thinking logically, thinking practically, thinking realistically, but really wanting to start things or restart things and yet have a better foundation, understand why I do the things that I do. How can I be better? Then we have this gorgeous card, the Knight of Cups. This is a return of somebody romantic that you've had a connection with. A return from the past. Yes. So your person of interest is returning from the past, and they are carrying a cup of love, very softly, gently. It's very soft, gentle. This is a very soft energy that comes through. They're not rushing. They're taking their time. I'm seeing a little vision right now. The way it absorbs. It's like two substances, two jelly-like substances. But one is still here. One is here. This is you. And one is flowing into it. But the way it flows in, as soon as it hits and gets combined with this substance, the both of them, they merge. And they become like one solid substance. But it's not solid. It's still jelly-like. I don't know why I'm seeing this. But basically, it's like they're flowing into you. That's what it's like. They're flowing into your life and they're merging with you. It's very nice. Very nice. That's a very odd kind of vision that I would have, but that's what I'm seeing. Blue or green. Almost, I'm not going to say slime, but it almost looks like slime, the color, but it's falling down this way on a slant, and I see it merging with another very thick kind of substance. But when it does, they're bound together, and they're still very soft and malleable. All right. We also have here the overall arching theme, Four of Cups. Your person of interest currently, they really have had enough, and they're realizing that, you know what, there have been opportunities and I have not taken the opportunities that I should have. They feel bored. There's a lot of regret. But they also feel that they need to think about the things that they've done. And because of this, they don't realize that they are missing out on other opportunities while they are sulking. This is the overall arching theme. They want a reconciliation. They can have that. And are they going to do that? Yes. And that is why you have the rest of these coming through. This is what they feel right now overall. And what is the solution to the problem? This is the plan. So yeah, I do see this person, definitely Scorpio. Definitely they're going to reach out to you, either here from the Eight of Wands or the Six of Wands or even the Knight of Cups. And this is a very direct. You're not dealing with a page here. So it's still going to be a knight, which is great because that does mean that there's a little bit of boldness when it comes to talking and speaking. All right. Let's have a look at what the angels have to say about this. Just going to do a quick prayer. All right. We have here forgiveness followed by abundance. So these messages are brought to you by Archangels Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. We have a strategy card here, let go. All right. Very nice. You actually have a timeline here within the next few months. So first card's the strongest. There is going to be a sense of forgiveness in this connection. Forgiveness is needed. Forgiveness is always good. You have a negative energy bubble, grudge, orbiting around you. The easiest way to forgive. And one of the biggest teachings in the Holy Bible is forgiveness. Forgive. But how do you forgive? Is it easy to forgive? No, it's not, because you can't forget. You shouldn't forget, because if you do, history repeats itself. So don't forget. But by forgiving, you're releasing that negative energy that's holding itself onto you. It has its claws deep. That grudge is still there. The easiest way is by having compassion for the person, by feeling sorry for the person, by sometimes even feeling pity for the person. They don't know any better. If they knew any better, they wouldn't be doing this. Everybody wants to be happy. Why would they do this? Because that's all they know. That's where they come from. That's who they are. And so by having that compassion, you are able to finally, once and for all, perhaps forgive this individual. At the end of the day, it's a benefit for you, because that is one thing less in your life that you have to worry about. And you may think, I don't worry about it. Yeah, but it does bother you, doesn't it, when you think of that person or when somebody says that person's name? It will bother you. But if you have forgiven and you're done with that story, no problem. You don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to think about it. It doesn't bother you anymore. That negative energy bubble is gone. It's not orbiting around you. So forgiveness is key. Okay? We also have here, abundance is going to come. That's a really good card to have. There's going to be some type of abundance that's going to come into your life, Scorpio. This could be love. It could also be money. And we have here, don't stop. So some of you might have just kind of been so discouraged that you want to just give up. Angels here are saying, don't stop. Don't stop giving and receiving love. Keep that positive energy flowing. We also have here, let go. So it is important for you to let go of this particular individual to the point where perhaps you just need to stop talking to them for a while. Give them their space. We do have boundaries, right? There's the boundaries, there's the illusion. So it's not as if you're really chatting right now or talking actively. This basically means that if they have kept their distance, let's keep our distance for a while too. There's no harm in that. Do something fun. Pick up a hobby. Learn something new. Do something that you weren't able to do when you were with a bunch of people. Do it separately. Do something alone. Have some fun. This is your time. This is me time, okay? Because when you're in a relationship, you do tend to get busy and the focus is not 100% on you anymore. So take advantage of that. Here we also have listen to your intuition. Certain things are going to happen and you will be able to make decisions based on what your heart tells you, what your mind tells you. So do listen to your intuition. It is much more older and wiser than you are. That is your soul speaking to your body / the spirit. Spirit is very young. It is like your body. It is your body. But the soul is much more older and wiser. It's been there, done that. So when you have a hunch, when you have an instinct, when you have a feeling, an emotion, understand that there's a reason why you feel the way that you do. There's a reason for it, so you should go for it. We also have here, if you believe. So some of you have kind of given up that faith, that belief that you may have had. It's no longer as strong as it used to be. However, they are saying here, keep believing it. Keep that positive energy flowing. And we also have here, look for a sign. Now, this could be signs and synchronicities. What I'm seeing here mostly is not red flags, but signs to understand and see that this could be numbers that are repetitive, colors, shapes, sounds, words that come to you through the radio, through billboards, on the poster or something like that. And something only makes sense to you specifically. Those are signs from the celestial beings, what we call the universe. And these are messages that are going to be sent to you. Now, do not actively go out and seek these because you might end up thinking everything's a message. But let it come to you. It'll come naturally. It'll most likely come to you when you're not expecting it. That's usually the case. Within the next few months, you have a really nice timeline here. So within the next few months, certain things are going to happen. Within the next few months, there's going to be forgiveness. There's going to be abundance. You're going to have the strength to let go a little bit. Listen to your intuition and look for a sign, and do believe. The abundance, I believe, is going to come to you. This person, remember, you had a lot of good cards, the 3 cards. This person's going to come back into your life. And that's going to happen within the next few months, but only if you also decide to let go and show, you know what, I'm good on my own. I don't need you. And that bothers people. That really bothers people, especially somebody that loves. And because of the Knight of Cups, this person is going to start to fall in love. If maybe they're already in love now because of that card that showed up. Scorpio, that is your reading. Let me know in the comments below if this has resonated, how you felt regarding this reading. Please share your stories. I do read the stories as much as I can, and I do try to comment as much as I can. Also, I wanted to mention to some of you, I do have some readings. They are open on my website, www.asnointia.com. Feel free to have a look at some of the packages that I have, and those are my readings. Also, I have another channel, Asnointia Audio, and I have a few videos on there. Those videos are actually just audio recordings. Feel free to have a look at that. They are regarding relationships and advice, spiritual connections. That includes like karmic partners, twin flames, past lives, soulmates. And also one I had posted a while ago now that was on negative energies. So what and who are negative energies? How to recognize them, how to remove them from our lives, which is very important. I have packages also on removal of negative energies. If some of you are interested in seeing that, please do read the description and feel free to place an order. All right. Those videos, by the way, are absolutely free to watch. It's on YouTube, Asnointia Audio. The link is also below. All right. You guys take care. Stay safe. I will see you guys again. Thank you so much for your support and for tuning in. Bye now.